Welcome everyone to the Ciena Solutions Challenge Student Panel Discussion. My name is Carissa, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. Before we get started, just want to note that this session is being recorded, so you will have access to this recording later. Attendees are muted upon entry, so if you want to interact with any of the students, student teams, or the educators, or even students between students, feel free to share your thoughts in the chat box. You can always use that as an option. And also, if you want to take a look at the Zoom toolbar that you have in front of you for accessibility options, if you want to just pull up any translations that you may need for yourself, I think there may be an option to click Show Captions in the meeting toolbar, and then you can select the up arrow and then choose your preferred language under translation. We just want to mention it may not be like a perfect fit, but we're hoping that it can support you in whatever language you may need to view it in. So here is our agenda that will describe how we'll spend this hour together. Because we're joining virtually, we'd love to know who's in the room with us. So feel free to share your name and where you're located and what you're celebrating. It could be personally, it could be professionally, it could be in your community, in your school. What are some things that you might be celebrating at this time? Because the YouthMADE Festival is an inclusive celebration where we like to showcase youth creators and change makers in local communities like the students we'll be hearing from today. We want to just emphasize the idea of celebrating and learning more about where everyone is coming from. So, like I mentioned before, we will be celebrating or have been celebrating the 2026 Ciena Solutions Challenge awardees. Since launching the challenge in 2021, more than 1,200 educators from schools and youth organizations around 103 countries globally have engaged with the challenge. The Ciena Solutions Challenge, which is a global design challenge designed in partnership with between Digital Promise and Ciena. And the challenge invites middle and high school students to use the challenge-based learning framework to design solutions that address the UN sustainable development goals within their communities. And so we're really thrilled to be able to celebrate these amazing awardees and these change makers that you'll hear from today, where they are sharing their products and things that they've created and innovated with. These teams have received a sustainability award anywhere between $750 to $3,000 in awarding to sustain and to scale their projects. And so we're really excited to celebrate these teams. So our teams are representing India, Nigeria, Panama, and the United States, specifically in Atlanta, Georgia. We also will be having a few special guests join us today. Let me see. It looks like Julie is on. Hi, Julie. Nice to see you.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Carissa.
Yes, it's so good to see you join us today. And Julie is joining us from Ciena. She actually had a part in sort of helping us make the selections along with a few other Ciena volunteers. And so I'm going to let Julie share a little bit more about herself and just kind of her role at Ciena. So Julie, you can take it away.
Thank you, Carissa. Well, yes, my name is Julie Grantham. I am Senior Corporate Counsel, which means I'm an attorney. I'm a lawyer. I'm also on our Global Services Leadership team because my company, Ciena, sells products and we also sell services that go along with those products. Outside of work, I'm a certified yoga teacher and a meditation enthusiast, which I think is a nice way to balance out being a lawyer who works to scale with speed and govern with grit. I'm passionate about this project at Ciena. It's one of the highlighting moments in my year at Ciena. I believe that education and digital access is something that uh, everyone should support. And at Ciena, we do build the networks that connect people to information and to opportunities. So again, I'm just so excited that all of you have participated. You are the next generation that's finding a better way to do things and doing things better for humanity, because those are not mutually exclusive. So I just am so thrilled that you're here and you participated. It encourages me for the next generation. So glad to be here, Carissa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julie. Glad you're here with us. And so I'm going to start introducing our presentations. And so we have our first presenter, or our first team presenting from India. We have their educator, Sajal, here, and they actually have a video. Their project was called the Smart Emergency Breather. So I'm going to go ahead and share their video. The sound should be working now, but if it's not, please let me know. But if you can give me a thumbs up that it's working.
Greetings. On behalf of our team, I, Aishi Sarkar, express my heartfelt gratitude for the honor of presenting our project on this prestigious international platform. Today, it is my privilege to share the inspiring journey behind our initiative, the Smart Emergency Breather. Imagine, for a moment, residing in a remote region where medical assistance is hours away and respiratory emergencies can become life-threatening within minutes. This is the challenging reality faced by many families in rural mining districts where demanding working conditions often result in chronic health issues and limited access to urgent health care. Our project was born from the
Carissa, we just lost sound.
Yeah.
I just noticed that the video may not be playing. Hold on a second.
We can hear it clearly, but
okay.
There's no
I think I see what happened. I just needed to share that screen. Sorry, everyone.
That's okay.
Give me 1 second. Okay, I think we should be ready now. I think everybody can see it. Or let me share my screen one more time.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great.
Greetings.
And
on behalf of our team, I, Aishi Sarkar, express my heartfelt gratitude for the honor of presenting our project on this prestigious international platform. Today, it is my privilege to share the inspiring journey behind our initiative, the Smart Emergency Breather. Imagine, for a moment, residing in a remote region where medical assistance is hours away and respiratory emergencies can become life-threatening within minutes. This is the challenging reality faced by many families in rural mining districts where demanding working conditions often result in chronic health issues and limited access to urgent health care. Our project was born from the desire to bridge these critical gaps. Through ingenuity and collaboration, our team developed and assembled an affordable breathing aid designed for use in environments where professional medical care is scarce. Our mission was clear: to create a simple, cost-effective device that could save lives in genuine emergencies utilizing the resources readily available to us. The Smart Emergency Breather is the result. A device constructed from inexpensive components and basic electronic tools. During field tests, it has already provided vital respiratory support, underscoring its potential as a practical life-saving solution. Our project embraces technology in 3 interconnected ways, each building thoughtfully upon the other. First, we applied our knowledge of physics to control airflow and monitor breathing patterns. This hands-on experience enriched our understanding of automated systems used in medical devices. Second, We leveraged a range of tools and online resources to research, construct, and refine our model. This iterative process taught us to test, adapt, and optimize our solution to meet real-world needs. Third, we documented our progress using smartphones and freely available digital tools, creating short videos and presentations to share our journey with classmates and the wider community. Our project is deeply rooted in the spirit of frugal innovation. By uniting our knowledge, problem-solving abilities, and basic electronics expertise, we crafted a practical and scalable solution to meet urgent healthcare demands. Technology empowered our learning, prototyping, testing, and communication, allowing us to transform ideas into a life-saving device while strengthening our digital skills, teamwork, and critical thinking. Ultimately, our project delivered a functional, affordable device that addresses an urgent community need. Winning the Ciena Solutions Challenge Award and representing our project at the YouthMADE Festival have been truly inspiring milestones for our team. Your encouragement and support are invaluable to us, and we are deeply grateful as we continue striving towards our goals.
Thank you, Smart Emergency Breather team. That was an
That was
awesome
excellent.
presentation.
Really great.
Yes. I'm not sure if any of the presenters are on. Let me check the participant list. I know that Sajal was having, their educator Sajal was having a few audio issues, so he is on the call, but just unable to take or to share his audio. But you can always interact with Sajal and any of the students that are online or on the call in the chat box here to respond to any questions or thoughts that anyone may have. But that was an awesome presentation. So we'll move on to our team from Nigeria. We have Ebenezer, their educator, on, and this is a SparkWise initiative school. And so, team from Nigeria, feel free to begin. Ebenezer, I see you're on, so let me make sure that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice to see you all.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Okay, this is our student team from Nigeria. We're talking about our Made in Ambassador Lantern project. So I will hand over to the students, let them do justice to the presentation.
Good day. My name is Golden Marcus. From the SparkWise Initiatives, Springfield International Academy.
Next slide.
Start.
Continue.
Our project focuses on designing and building low-cost solar-powered lantern using recycled plastic and electronic waste material in Aba, Nigeria. The innovation provides clean, affordable lighting for underserved communities with limited or no access to electricity. What makes our project unique is our Made in Aba's circular innovation model, where waste is transferred into useful solar products while promoting environmental sustainability and youth STEM learning.
The image. Next slide.
Through this project, we learned the value of teamwork, innovation, creativity, and problem solving. We also gained hands-on experience in renewable energy system, basic electronics, and sustainable design thinking. Most importantly, we understand how youth-led innovation can directly address energy poverty and environmental challenges in our community.
Next slide. future plans and sustainability. Our future goal is to scale and improve production of solar lanterns for wider community impact. We plan to upgrade our innovation using PCB technology for better circuit efficiency, 3D printing for durable products, casing design, plastic crusher machine for improved recycling and material processing. We aim to establish a sustainable innovation hub in Aba to train more students, expand production, and strengthen circular economy solution for clean energy access.
Yeah, looking at the image here, some of the images here is a kind of direct explanation of what they are presenting, which is talking about clean energy innovation in this rural community. So just to amplify their voice and also amplify a few things that we have done so far. So these projects have a kind of transformed the society from being a kind of consumers into producers, where students become resourceful and the green innovators in order to transform the waste in the environment into solar lanterns that they can use in building at home and also that is used in the community in order to maintain green speed. And also they acquire some skills, not like green skills, entrepreneurship, and also innovative skills and mindset. So that is what we have to share with you. Thank you for the opportunity and also to present to this global stage. Thank you.
Great job. That was incredible, team.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. And we love the photos too. We love being able to see how everything was created. So thank you so much. If you have any questions for team in Nigeria, please share your thoughts in the chat box. We'll voice them over to a little bit towards the Q&A portion. So now we have Team Panama with their educator, Vianca Cuevas. So I am actually, they have a video presentation, but I believe their students are already on. So Team Panama, ¿están listos para presentar? Are you ready to present? Okay. So
Hi.
Hi.
I am Vianca. I am from Panama, La Chorrera. I am coordinator of Clubhouse La Chorrera, and I am excited to participate in the panel Young People with Their Wonderful Projects. Thank you for Ciena and Digital Promise for creating the space. Thank you.
Good morning. We are Mision from Clubhouse La Chorrera, Panama. We ask ourselves an important question. How can we transform the CDG into measure local action for our school? To answer this, we use gamified digital platform that organize schoolrooms into action squad by documenting challenges like waste reduction and peer tutoring with multimedia evidence, we turn sustainability and effort into real data. This way, we move from abstract theory to validate local impact.
Not sure if we lost audio, but team from Panama, we're on the next slide. Let us know if you need us to test anything.
Good morning. So for our future plans, the next step is focus on creating SDG missions committee with the student government to ensure it's a long-term continuity. The plans include a sustainable model along with the creation of an interscholar league and impact portfolio to help students with their university application at the future.
The next steps focus on creating the project revealed that a lot of awareness in a root cause of low student commitment, which can be solved through a specific SDG training. It was also learned that young leadership combined with digital tools is the key to social evolution, helping students develop essential skills in critical thinking, project management, and scientific literature.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the presentation. That was amazing. We can't wait to hear some of a little bit more overview, and thank you so much for presenting. That was great. So we have
That was a mistake. I meant to set cheers, not laughing. I just said a laughing emoji. Panama, I'm not laughing. That was awesome.
That was it's easy to make that to go in between the two, Julie, so no worries at all. That was awesome. If you have any questions for the team in Panama, please share your thoughts in the chat box, if you have any. And so for our final team today, well, in terms of our presentations, we're going to hear from our team based out of Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. Their project is a Smart Grow Garden, and this is actually one of our schools that we've been working with for a few years, and they were part of the model school program as well. So excited to see them here. And team from Atlanta, feel free to get started. We have their educator EJ online as well.
Hi. Okay, so we have the Smart Grow Garden, and I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Kinley. I'm Kayla.
And next slide. Okay, so what is the Smart Grow Garden? So our Smart Grow Garden is a garden that uses the Raspberry Pi code for easy accessibility and use. The garden self-waters, self-cools, and turns on the lights by itself to ensure that the plants get every intake it needs while we're away, and to ensure the plants are also growing well. The garden also takes pictures of the plants and stores the images into the computer. And it can provide fruits and vegetables to people in need. Our main problem was that we had, in our area code, we had a lot of food insecurity, and there was limited access to things like fresh produce. And there was also a lot of rising food costs, so it made it harder to have healthier foods and nutritious foods. So that's why we decided to go with our Smart Grow Garden.
Okay, just talk on this. Just talk. Okay, so in the future, as we continue to update our project, we hope to create ways for families in the future to get accessible foods that aren't filled with chemicals. We've learned that plants have different intakes of light and water, and with that knowledge, we were able to come up with ways for each plant to have their own special needs.
One challenge we had with the plants was the plants were not growing. So instead we had to change the plants that we use to some different ones. Also, with the water system, it would leak at the bottom. So we adjusted the watering through the coding and installed drip plants to collect water to limit water being spilled on the floor.
Very cool. Thank you so much for your presentation, and really cool to see these photos, and just appreciate y'all being here. So thank you so much. If you have any questions for our team based out of Atlanta, our Smart Grow Garden team, please share your questions with them in the chat box. And so now we have moved to our student discussion portion. And so we just have some opportunities, and kind of the bulk of our time today is just going to be spent on learning more about, those individual challenges. And that's a great segue from the team from Atlanta, where they started even just talking about some of the challenges they experienced with the Smart Grow Garden. So we'd love to hear, more about just your process and your journey. So I'll let Julie actually take away the first question and help us learn a little bit more about those big rocks. So Julie, feel free to take it.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you from my perspective, and I lead a team of people. One of the things as we move forward day to day, because we're moving at a rapid pace in this technology world and our AI ecosystem, the pace is going very quickly. We're learning we have to scale with speed, but govern with grit. So the way to achieve that, and this translates to any type of project that you work on, is to be able to think strategically about what are the rocks ahead. If I'm riding a bicycle and I'm going down a road and I see a rock ahead of me, being able to see that rock in the future and pivot, be able to go around the rock, because you know that if you hit it, it's going to be a problem. So I would love to know from you guys, what was the biggest rock in your project journey? At what point did you hit a rock? Because I promise you, every project has a rock. So it's not a bad thing. If a project doesn't have a rock, there's a concern. You need to critically think a bit more. So I'd love to hear what was the biggest thing that was a challenge that you had to pivot and work around?
Students, if you have any responses to that question, you can jump off mute or you can raise your hand and we can wait for you to go. So, or you can just jump off if you have a response to this. So what was your biggest rock in your project journey? And educators, feel free to jump into if you have any responses.
This is the Ciena Smart Grow Garden group. Our biggest rock was definitely finding a good environment for our plants to grow in, and also figuring out what plants would grow in these environments. We had to test out a few different locations and areas because some classrooms got less light, some classrooms got more light. Some classrooms were a bit stuffy, they had less air than others. So we ended up picking a classroom that had a lot of big windows in it and it had a lot of students in there. So there was a lot of like CO2 for the plants, there was a lot of light, and there was always somebody in there that could make sure that it was taken care of. And we also had to find somewhere where our water leakage and stuff like that was another big problem. We had to make sure we were in an area where it wouldn't be affecting the classroom and learning and things like that.
So it sounds like you really grew that muscle of resilience, and you probably had some plants die along the way because you're like, this isn't working. This isn't the right environment. So while that's disappointing in that moment, look at all you learned along the way. So terrific job. You guys did a really great job.
Thank you so much.
Yes, that's such a good point. Team from Panama or Sajal, I don't know. I'm going to check in the chat box to see if you had anything to add about your team's biggest challenge. So feel free to interact in the chat box. The other part I was going to ask. Oh, go ahead. Yes.
So I think the biggest rock in our project journey must be the creation of the website, because in the website we want to make like a challenge for students, have a moment for example, to post, to upload the action they made about the SDG, like if they plant a tree and all that. So I think that our biggest rock was the creation of the management of the website.
Terrific. So it sounds like you really grew the muscle of some hard skills, some technical learning, some challenges that you had to really think critically through and learn new information.
Definitely. Ebenezer, does your team have anything to add to this or share any challenges? Oh, yeah, I see you're raising your hand. Feel free to jump in.
Yeah, we want to kind of share one or two challenges that we encountered in the process of for our work. Of course, our work is, would I say, it is more of engineering and technical oriented. So I and the students team, there are some hurdles we need to pass. For example, now in our, we're in the tech hub anyway. This is our tech hub in the school. So in our casing of our products, which is our solar lantern, we find it difficult. We find it very, very difficult to kind of assemble those particular circuitry. But through collaboration and kind of using the circuit diagram that is drawn on the board for them, students have to use it to trace the polarities of those particular wire, and they are in order to get it and test it with the multimeter. So it was very difficult at first. Even at a point, I have to come in, give some prototype sample, then have to follow up with it. So that aspect of circuit, because had even we made use of let's say circuit board or PCB, but printed circuit board, it will be easier for them to just press the output and they use soldering iron and solder those parts and connect the solar lantern. But this one now, they need to use wiring to build the circuit board manually so that the lantern will work. So it was a hard, and as well, our casing, like this one, this is our solar lantern now. This our casing of this now is very difficult to lose. So this is a plastic PET bottle, and it is longer, but we reduce to this size now. So it was difficult for them to use scissors to cut it and they trim it and begin to a kind of the casing to prototype it and casing to this smaller portable way before a kind of putting some products, some of the CQs and the batteries and all that thing to lap it very well. So it was a kind of the challenges that they pass through or they undergo. That is it. Then the exciting moment that is there is it is not something that is done by one person. That is the reason that that is a certain part of it. And if it is only one person that is doing it at the time, it will be tiring. And even so you drop it and say you are tired of this. But it's something that is done by a team. So the interesting part of it is that it's a teamwork where 2 or 3 persons will be working in the group, another set will be working in the group. So when one have any difficulty, they will ask another person, please, how do you do this one? They will direct themselves and put themselves through. So through that interaction and playway method and the serious, so the interactive aspect of that teamwork is a kind of making it fun. So that is why they be able to pass through that black hurdles and make some impact and great projects. That's what I want to share. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That is an awesome story. And man, you really learned the art of iteration in projects. And you know, they say it takes 10,000 hours to become a subject matter expert in something. So iterating and iterating and iterating and iterating is how we refine our innovations. And what a terrific experience. It's hard. You really grew that muscle. And that's it's a resilience muscle when you have to do it over and over and over again until you get it right. So excellent job. You guys did a great job.
Yes, I echo everything Julie said. Sajal actually shared something in the chat box. Our villages are at least 5 to 10 kilometers from primary healthcare centers. So that was one of their biggest rocks. It helps in emergency situations. Though we know there are many scopes to develop the project, that was their biggest challenge, which is definitely proximity to, kind of that area was a big rock for them. And Sajal also shared that he personally feels very proud of the students because they live in the Jungle Mahal, which is the remotest forest part of their district, but never fails to thrive. So that's a really good point, Sajal, and thank you for sharing that. Any other rocks or things that you all might have experienced in your project journey? Anything that might have came up for you that you didn't expect to come up? Well, while you think about any other rocks, we'd love to know a a little bit more about what was exciting or made your team very proud um, while working on your project. I noticed that in each of the projects, there were a lot of community impact and a lot of projects that were dedicated to like getting maybe feedback from the community or wanting to do something for the communities that you live in. So I wonder if there were any moments, any exciting moments or things that you were really proud of to work on as a team. And actually, Sajal shared a little bit about what made him very proud of his team and that they, kind of like persevered and were able to work on their project, although being located in a remote part of their country. So what about your projects make you feel very excited or proud? And anybody can jump in.
Okay, so this is the Smart Girl Garden. So something that we are most excited or proud of is like really realizing how much good we can do for the community while creating these plants and how much like we can help out families in need. And also like something we're proud of is like really acknowledging like the people around us and helping them out and taking all of this knowledge while working on this project has also been something we're really proud of. And also somebody from Georgia Powers they have helped us with this project. His name is DJ, and he has really been a big part of this project while in helping us and really giving us the knowledge to better our community.
Excellent. That's such great feedback. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's really important to have, if you're able to, in your iteration, like Julie was mentioning, it's very important to have that mentor or someone to look up to or to ask questions to in the process because we can't make these great things by ourselves. So, team from Panama, I see your hand is raised. Go ahead.
Hello. So, uh, for our most exciting and proud moment or our team project, I think about the way we become leaders from a school, the way we can teach our other students about the SDGs, knowing that we can make a change, we can, for the country, we can make a lot of more productive students because the way we teach the other students, we want them to participate, for example, in Ciena Solutions or any other project with the SDGs.
That's excellent, Panama team. And I just want to tell all of you, you should all be proud of the moment you started your project, because I want to tell you that you are the future leaders in this world, and you're leading. And I want you to take this term away from you. You're learning to be servant leaders. And let me explain what that means. A servant leader is someone who makes the lives of others better. And you're leading that charge by picking up the torch, taking the challenge, and recognizing that the next generation can continue to find a better way to do things and also do things better for humanity. So I just commend all of you. You're the cream of the crop. You're going to be the leaders of our future. It's a big task, but I'm giving you the mandate. I'm proud of all of you, all of you.
Thank you, Julie. Yeah, these are really good sentiments. And I'm sure it makes all of you as students like really reflect like how much it actually takes to start something that doesn't feel so, in the beginning, you're like, oh yeah, this is an easy thing I can accomplish. And then you realize like actually it takes a lot more work and a lot more stop and go. And that's a lot of the framework that your teachers are already very used to in terms of like, starting a subject or starting an area or a new unit and then going back and making sure that, you all were able to kind of see that and internalize it. So yeah. Anything else? Any other proud or exciting moments? Anything that came up that you weren't expecting, like you were going to be happy about? Maybe it started off as a challenge and then you're like, oh, well, actually, we needed that to help us. Ebenezer, I'm not sure if your students are on to share anything that they felt excited about, but feel free to jump off mute if you do, or you can interact in the chat box too. And are there any questions for any other teams? Since students, this is kind of your opportunity to talk to other teams from different countries. So were there any other questions that you might have had for each other about your projects or about each other's like future planning or lessons that may have came up for you all?
I saw a couple of questions to the Smart Growth Garden about how they calculated the nutrients needed for the plants and if AI is incorporated into the model. So that might be some great questions for that team.
So we really were able to calculate the nutrients. It was really a lot of coding, a lot of research to find out like for what plants, how much water they needed, what nutrients worked best. We honestly didn't use that much. We didn't really use that much AI. I think we really used our own intelligence because I think intelligence really comes from us and research and things like that. But it was a hard process. It was a lot of researching. It was a lot of looking up and computers and all that stuff. It was a lot of coding, a trial and error, things like that. But yeah.
Thank you for that. And I think you make a really good point. We were actually, I think Julie might have mentioned this on our call yesterday, that the intelligence that you have, or maybe Julie mentioned something short about it, but there's nothing like it. It can't be duplicated. So, it can't be replicated. Like what you have and what you learn and what you're able to share with others is your own. And so, of course, AI is definitely a useful tool, and we have, trying to learn more about it so we stay ahead of the curve, but it's nothing like what you all and the experiences that you all have.
Yes, I think I shared yesterday, Carissa, and it is an important thing to remember as we move forward in this AI generation. In my role, I'm a senior attorney, and I live in co-pilot and co-work and using different AI, legal-focused AI tools. However, I remember to treat all of these tools not as another lawyer, but as a legal intern that really wants to please me and is going to work really hard to give me the answer I want. But it's me, it's my human brain, it's my critical thinking that AI is never going to be able to replicate, and in the nuance that you guys have. You're all such bright future leaders. So be sure that as you use AI, you use it as a force multiplier for you. If that makes sense. So yes, thanks, Carissa.
Yeah, thank you. No, that's a good point. I'm sure a lot of people have the experience with that. Team from Panama or Ebenezer, I didn't know if you have anything else to share, or Sajal. Anything that you may have found interesting or...
Yeah, great. We'd like to share one or two things regarding a kind of this, what I call it, the support system that is needed in this our innovation, a kind of to see how it can be buttressed and also be expanded. So in that aspect, I will solicit to the organizers and precisely the Ciena, I believe at least one of the Ciena staff member is available, so that these my students, they are very my students, they're kind of inquisitive on expansion. not only on project design and prototyping. They include about expansion or modernizing. For example, now some of our products they use it maybe at home to see and other things, but the neighbors and others will see we want this product. When will it go to the market so that people will begin to buy it, and it will be a kind of a working project that people are now using this our solar lantern, for example, now. So in that aspect now, I solicit if there will be a kind of a follow-up mentorship and a kind of narratives and a kind of coaching to ensure that this innovation, like our own, for example, now we receive not only the recognition but the expertise training in terms of electronics and digitalizing that is needed for it to expand. For example, we're in Nigeria, we're a local community in Nigeria. Not every material is available for us to do this. It took us some resourcefulness, gathering wares and other things to prototype and begin to come up to this. So I believe that if we get more expertise training or more a kind of a strategic partnership from either team from Ciena or any other organization that can link us to, it will help us to modify our work. We are using prototyping of circuitry, using kind of normal direct circuits, using wiring. But we are looking at if we can get a kind of PCB board, that is printed circuit board, where we can have those particular board printed. It will be easier for us to put the outputs and the solar lantern. If we can produce, let's say, 5 solar lantern in a day, without a PCB board, one can even produce a mass production up to 100 or even 1,000, where at least 100 a day or 500 or thereabout. So we are looking at how to expand our project or innovation, this solar lantern, into a marketable product which can launch to the market, and I believe it will be a kind of a kudos to the Ciena as an organization and also the program, that a little project that emanate as ordinary school projects have now become a company, that they are not producing a real solar lantern. So we are looking at that partnership and that follow-up training after this award, maybe in the thereby as next month or as time goes on, so that before the end of this year, we want to see if it will be possible for us to get either a link, a kind of partnership from Japan, from China. They can link us to or direct us to those that will help us to produce a kind of partner in terms of production of the circuit board that will help our innovation to refine it so that we can have a tangible product that can be sellable not only in Nigeria but across Africa. So that is an aspect to make it grow better. That's what I want to share. Yeah, thank you. As I hope that our plight will be accepted.
That was terrific. That is awesome. What an awesome project and what an awesome mission. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ebenezer actually brings up a good point that I'm curious about for everyone, or if any of the teams have considered what, partners or people in your community or things that, or other organizations that you may have thought of. And I think the team from Atlanta also brought it up, that you all had maybe a mentor or somebody, it was a person named DJ that might have supported. So I don't know if you all have anything else to share about, just like the benefits or those helpful ways that like having a partnership could support your long-term goals, or what you really want to see in the future for your project. Any lessons from that, or anything you can share about maybe the partnerships or maybe mentors that can support or have supported your project teams? And of course, if anybody has any questions in the chat box, feel free to share them or thoughts.
Correction, we did say DJ, we meant to say VJV.
Okay.
A really helpful partner in the creation of our website. And I feel like since we have a website now, it kind of ensures that our project stays long-term, and it stays kind of like it's always going to be there. Our impact is always going to be there. I will say that is one of the main benefits of having a partnership, and also you're able to expand your impact and your force. Here at CSK, we also have a monthly food pantry, and like we are able to partner with the teachers at the school and stuff like that to make sure that the stuff we're growing in the gardens is also able to find its way to the food pantry. So it ends up at somebody's house or in somebody's food and make sure that somebody is healthy and not hungry and things like that.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I think that's one of the ways that you can really consider scaling and just getting to more and more people, like you mentioned, like making sure that what you grow in your garden can make it all the way to someone else's house or someone else's residence and where they are to make sure that impact is felt and seen. So that's such a good point. Um, and of course, also having the website, I think it just expands your reach. I think the team from Panama had mentioned that was their biggest like kind of pain point, which can be a pain point and it can sometimes maybe deter people from moving forward. But it seems like the team from Panama, they were able to overcome that. Website issues can definitely we've experienced quite more than a few of those things that happen in real life. And you guys are taking a great step in learning about these things now at your age and where you are in life. So any other questions or thoughts from anyone? Julie, I don't know if you wanted to share anything else.
I just want to give a final kudos to all of you and also particularly to you sponsors and educators. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time and making intentional space for these future leaders to grow. Without your support, you're really the roots and the foundation for them. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, such a great point, and also a very good partnership to have with our teachers. I mean, this, a lot of this wouldn't be able to be facilitated without the support of educators. So yes, all of our educators that are on and listening in or listening to the recording later, thank you so much for your support and really kind of letting your students take the driver's seat in traditionally what would have been the other way around. So we're excited to see what they are able to do with your support and some of their own experiences and experiments and iterations that they'll do in the future. So thanks everybody. We have a few minutes left. If there's anything else that you all want to share in the chat box about your experiences or any last words, you're welcome to do that. I'm actually gonna move on to the Q&A, but if there's no other questions before I pass it over to Jess with any with closing remarks, I want to just start by or end by thanking all of the students and the teachers and Julie for joining today from Ciena. We really appreciate your partnership and your just like your experience and wealth of knowledge and coming on today. And thank you, students, for all of your exciting projects. We can't wait to see what you all put forth in the future of your innovations.
Yeah.
So Jess, if you want to end with closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Carissa. And just to repeat what everyone has been saying today, we're also impressed and extremely proud of all our teams, educators, students. Y'all did an incredible job, and we're looking forward to seeing the next steps of your projects. And we definitely want to continue praising y'all. So just to remind you, we do have our YouthMADE Community Awards. So that means that we are inviting teachers, families, peers, folks in your community to recognize those of you who presented at the YouthMADE Festival. So there's a form where students can be nominated to receive community awards. So you will have folks nominate you and share some proud words about what you've done. We are going to also share these recordings on YouTube later. That way, for families or peers who want to see the recording and want you to present, they can view that, and then they can fill out this form for y'all. Just as a heads up, we are going to close the form on May 19th. So you have that time to collect feedback, collect kudos. And once we've collected all the nominations, we will notify students who have been nominated, and then we will publish an announcement for those of us who received community awards. We're going to share that link in the chat for y'all, and we'll also be sure to follow up and share that link in case you want to share it out with other folks who weren't able to attend today. So keep an eye out for that. And we're just really excited to share all the other proud words that folks have to say about y'all. And before we end, just again, we want to say thank you to all our teams, our volunteers, our attendees. This is a global celebration. We have folks, from Nigeria, India, Panama, Atlanta, Georgia. So we acknowledge that it's different places and times for folks. And yeah, we're just extremely grateful for you for making the time to support our panels. We do have one more panel left. We hope you're able to join us. That's tomorrow. And if you have any highlights to share for today, whether it be quotes, if you took screenshots, or if y'all, I know I can see that some of your students are together right now. If you can take pictures, that'd be great. We would love to see them. Feel free to share on social media with hashtag Ciena Challenge or hashtag YouthMADE. You can also follow us on Instagram at YouthMADE Festival, so we can share more highlights of the presentations and other events happening during the YouthMADE Festival. Lastly, we hope that you can also check out our YouthMADE directory. It's just a full list of events happening the rest of the week. And you're also welcome to share any other content or events happening, and we'll be sure to either share that on our YouthMADE Instagram page or on our directory. But that is it. We are already getting at time. Again, thank y'all so much again. We hope to see you again tomorrow. If you're able to attend, that'd be great. And we just wish y'all the amazing rest of your day or night. Thank you again. We appreciate y'all for being here.